Okay, folks, I need you to do one quick thing. Go grab your loose change jar. No, seriously, I'll wait. Got it? Cool. Now dig in and pull out any penny from 1998. Check it out. Look closely. See that little copper guy staring back at you with his very serious Lincoln face? Now here's the kicker: if that penny has no mint mark, you might be holding a coin worth up to $1.1 million. Yeah. I'm not joking. 1.1 million. Not now, before you throw that penny in the laundry machine again or leave it as a tip at the drive-thru, hang tight. Because in today's video, we're going full detective mode on one of the sneakiest treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. We'll break down how this little guy became a big deal, what makes it rare, how to spot a valuable one, and I'll even tell you the story of how I almost gave one away for a Snickers bar. Spoiler alert, I didn't. And I've never looked at vending machines the same since. So whether you're a seasoned coin nerd or just someone who's bad at saving quarters for laundry day, this video's for you. So 1998 was a weird year. Titanic was still making people cry, Google wasn't a thing yet, and boy bands ruled the earth. But among all the chaos, the US Mint did something kind of strange, and now most pennies minted in Philadelphia have a little P mint mark under the year. But a few 1998 pennies came out with no mint mark at all. Why? Well, that's part of the mystery. It could be a die error. Maybe someone at the mint was having a rough Monday. Who knows, but because these no mint mark pennies are so rare, collectors went nuts when they started popping up. We're talking like Black Friday PS5 restock level of nuts, and here's the kicker: one of these rare no mint 1998 Lincoln pennies, in pristine condition, sold for $1.1 million. That's right. More than most people make in a decade. For a coin you could literally find stuck between your couch cushions. Alright, now let's get into the nitty gritty. First, grab your 1998 penny. Hold it under some good light. Maybe not your phone flashlight, unless you like squinting like you're 87. Look just below the year 1998. Normally, you'll see a tiny letter. Could be a D, Denver, or P, Philadelphia. But if it's totally blank, bingo. You may have something interesting. Now hold your horses. Just because it has no mint mark doesn't mean you've instantly become a millionaire. Condition is everything. We're talking sharp details, no scratches, no gum residue, and definitely no signs of it living in your glove box since the Bush administration. If your coin is shiny, crisp, and has no mint mark, it's worth getting professionally graded. Which brings us to, coin grading is basically like giving your penny a report card. And the higher the grade, the more valuable it is. To hit that $1 million status, the penny has to be mint state 68 or higher. That's basically perfection. Like if Lincoln's beard strands are so defined you can count them, you might be onto something. And listen, I once thought I had a rare coin, sent it in for grading, and it came back as environmental damage. Turns out, soaking it in soda to clean it was a bad idea. Don't be like me. Handle with care. Now let's talk dollars, cents, and $1 million dreams. In average condition, your 1998 no mint mark penny is still probably only worth, well, a penny. But in uncirculated mint state, that price tag skyrockets. The record-setting sale of $1.1 million wasn't just hype. That coin was pristine, verified by a top grading service, and bought at an auction by a serious collector. Right now, collectors are still on the hunt. There's always demand for unique errors, and this one checks all the boxes. Some have sold in the tens of thousands even without reaching mint state 68. So if you've got one, hold on to it. Or at least get it checked before you spend it on gas station snacks. Okay, story time. So a few years back, I was at work, starving, and I had no cash. Just a bunch of coins in my desk drawer. I count out enough for a candy bar, 99 cents, and throw in this old-looking penny. I remember it because it had no mint mark and I thought, weird. I put the coins in the vending machine. Nothing happens. Machine jams. I yank the coins back. Go on with my day. 2 weeks later, I read about a rare 1998 no mint mark penny selling for a fortune. I checked the coins I yanked back. That weird one? Gone. Either lost or I gave it away. I could have eaten a candy bar made of actual gold for that price. Moral of the story? Always check your coins. And never trust vending machines. They're not your friends. And now, if this whole thing got you interested in coin collecting, welcome to the club. We're nerdy, but we're rich in stories. And sometimes in actual money. Start by checking your change. Seriously, you'd be surprised what slips through. Look for years like 1998, 1982, 1943, and any coins with weird markings or off-center designs. Get yourself a magnifying glass. A good coin app. And for heaven's sake, don't clean your coins with toothpaste. Hit up garage sales. Even roll haunted banks. There's treasure out there, and it's in your pocket. At the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A tiny copper coin that could buy you a house, a car, and still leave enough for a taco truck. It's not just about the money, it's about the fun of the hunt, the thrill of discovery, and yeah, okay, also the money. Before you dump the change jar at the Coinstar, maybe sift through it. That one plain-looking penny could be your ticket to an early retirement, or at least a really cool story. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. I've got more tips, coin values, and crazy stories coming your way. And I promise, no vending machines will be harmed in the process. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where we talk about money that looks like it shouldn't be worth much, but surprise, it's secretly rich, just like that one quiet uncle at family gatherings who turns out to own 6 rental properties and a yacht named Midlife Crisis. Today we're diving into a coin that might just be chilling in your junk drawer or rattling around in your cup holder, the 1984 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, a plain old coppery looking 1-cent coin from 1984. Worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. That's more than most of our cars and credit card bills combined. Now, before you sprint to your couch cushions, let me tell you why this coin is so special, what makes it rare, how you can identify it, and yep, my own embarrassing personal story that might make you cry a little inside but mostly laugh. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's dig into the world of coins that are secretly flexing their worth. Okay, so what's the deal with this 1984 D Lincoln penny? Why is this little copper coin causing coin collectors to go full detective mode? Well, here's the scoop. Back in 1984 at the Denver Mint, they produced a whole lot of pennies. We're talking billions, but somewhere in that huge batch a few of these coins came out with some juicy errors, and when it comes to rare coins, especially error coins, collectors go bananas. Now, the 1984 D penny that's worth $1.2 million isn't just any old penny. It has a combo of super rare traits that make it a unicorn in the coin world. First, there's a strong doubling on Abraham Lincoln's ear. Yup, you heard that right, Honest Abe looks like he's rocking an extra ear, or at least a very bold earlobe. It's what they call a double die error, and it's one of the coolest ones to look for. But here's the kicker: combine that doubling with a strong strike, full red color, original luster, and a perfect condition rating like MS68 or higher, and boom, suddenly you're holding a coin worth more than a small house. A few years ago, before I got deep into this coin game, I was cleaning out an old box of stuff from college, notebooks, random receipts, and some change. I dumped the change into a Coinstar without even thinking, took my $12 and bought pizza. Felt like a winner. Fast forward to me getting into coin collecting, I learn about the 1984 D double-ear penny, and I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. I used to always notice that weird-looking Lincoln penny with a fat ear, thought it was just smudged or something. I even remember tossing it in that very same box. Yep, I could have literally thrown away $1 million coin for a slice of pepperoni and regret. Look at the date, 1984, that's step 1. Then look just below the date to the right of Lincoln's bust. You should see a little D that stands for Denver, not darn I lost it. Then bust out a magnifying glass or your phone's camera and zoom in on Lincoln's ear. If it looks like he's wearing a tiny wireless earbud or there's a second lobe lurking behind the first, congratulations, you might be staring at some serious cash. And condition matters. Coins that are beat up, bent, scratched, or stained probably won't hit that $1 million mark, but even a less than perfect one can still fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars from collectors. It's like antique furniture: the better it looks, the more folks want it. Some of these pennies have sold at major auctions like Heritage or Stacksbowers for hundreds of thousands, and one verified mint state gem topped out at $1.2 million. That's not a typo, that's retirement money in a wrapper smaller than a bottle cap. The reason collectors go wild for it is simple: there's a mix of low population, high demand, and that weird cool doubling error. You just don't see many in good condition floating around anymore. It's a rare combo, like a pineapple pizza, that everyone agrees on. Now you might be wondering, should I start digging through every penny I come across? Yes, you should, and maybe also convince your grandma to let you look through her change jar. She might be sitting on a treasure chest and not even know it. There's nothing more satisfying than spotting that weird-looking ear and realizing you're holding something that could change your whole financial situation in one tiny little copper coin. And hey, even if you don't find the 1984 D double die, you'll probably come across other valuable coins. There are so many out there that people overlook every day. We're talking wheat pennies, silver, nickels, Misprints coins with no mint marks, the list goes on, and we cover all of them right here on this channel. The 1984 D Lincoln penny might look like just another coin, but it's living proof that value doesn't always come wrapped in gold or glitter. Sometimes it's hiding in your pocket behind some lint and an expired coupon. So next time you get change back at the store, pause and give those pennies a good look. You never know when your next $1 million might be sitting in the palm of your hand, disguised as spare change. And if you're like me and you once Coinstarred your dreams away, don't worry, you've got plenty of time to become a coin sleuth starting now. If you liked this video and you want more tips on coins worth money plus a few embarrassing personal stories along the way, hit that subscribe button, give it a good ol' smack, and turn on notifications so you never miss $1 million coin ever again. Remember folks, your future might just be one penny away from changing forever, so keep hunting, stay curious, and as always, check your change. Hey there coin hunters and pocket change pros, welcome back to the channel where we dig through history one penny at a time. And today, who boy, do we have a hot one for you. Ever hear about a penny that's worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right, a single copper coin from 1952 with an S mint mark that's currently valued at a jaw-dropping $13 million. Now before you go flipping over your couch cushions or raiding grandma's coin jar, trust me, I've already done it. Let's dive into the world of the 1952 S Abraham Lincoln penny. What makes it so rare? What gives it that 7-figure swagger? And could you be holding onto a small fortune without even knowing it? So buckle up, grab your magnifying glass and maybe your lucky socks, because by the end of this video you'll know everything there is to know about this sneaky little millionaire penny. Alright, so let's set the stage. It's 1952. Eisenhower was elected president. Gas was like 27 cents a gallon and your grandparents were probably out cruising in some chrome beast of a car. Meanwhile, over in San Francisco, the US Mint was pumping out millions of Lincoln wheat pennies. Now here's where it gets spicy. Not all 1952 pennies are created equal. You've got the ones from Philly, no mint mark, the ones from Denver with a D, and the ones from San Francisco with an S. And that, my friends, is where the treasure hunt begins. The 1952 S Lincoln penny is just like its siblings at first glance. It's got Abe Lincoln chillin' on the front, that classic wheat ears design on the back, and it's made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. But here's the kicker, only a small number of these coins came off the press with ultra-sharp detail, pristine surfaces, and no post-minting damage. We're talking mint state 67 and above, and that's what collectors are drooling over right now. So how does a little copper circle go from 1 cent to $13 million? Good question. It comes down to three big things: rarity, condition, and demand. Let's talk rarity first. Millions of these pennies were made, sure, but finding one in perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. If the haystack was on fire and the needle was invisible, see, most of these coins were circulated. They've got scratches, wear, tear, maybe even some bubblegum stuck to them. Finding one in pristine mint state condition is super rare. It's like finding a clean public restroom in Times Square on New Year's Eve. Now condition, this is huge. Graders use a scale from 1 to 70, and anything above 65 is considered seriously collectible. Mint state 67 and up, that's where the money is. That's the luxury suite of the coin world. There's a 1952 S Lincoln penny that sold for over $13 million at auction because it was basically flawless. You could see every hair on Abe's beard and it practically glowed under the light. And demand, oh man, there's always a market for rare coins. Collectors love their Lincolns. There are folks out there who will bid your house off just to get their hands on one perfect little penny that completes their collection. Now let me tell you a quick story. When I was a kid, my grandpa had this huge jar of old coins. He'd sit me down with a flashlight and a magnifier and tell me, if you find one with an S on it, that's your college fund. I thought he was joking. Turns out the joke was on me, because years later I dug into that jar just for fun, and guess what I found? A 1952 S penny. Now before you freak out, it wasn't the $1 million kind. Mine had a big OL scratch on Abe's head like he lost a knife fight. But that one little coin launched my obsession with coin collecting. I spent the next few years learning grading techniques, how to spot errors, what to look for in luster and strike sharpness, all that good stuff. And now here we are talking about millionaire pennies on YouTube. It's funny how life works, right? Anyway, let's circle back. What do you need to look for if you think you've got a 1952 S Lincoln penny hiding in your change? First, check for that S under the date. That's your first clue. Second, check the condition. Is it super shiny, minimal wear, lots of detail, or does it look like it survived a trip through a garbage disposal? Be honest. Third, consider getting it graded. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm the value and rarity of your coin, and trust me, that's worth the investment if there's even a tiny chance it could be a heavy hitter. You also want to watch for errors. Now 1952 wasn't known for a ton of errors, but double dies, repunched mint marks, and die cracks can add serious value. It's like the universe giving your penny a little bonus round. And if you do find something special, do not, I repeat, do not take it to your local gas station and spend it on beef jerky. Get it appraised, get it graded, get it insured. If it's the real deal, you could be sitting on enough cash to buy a house, pay off your car, or finally take that vacation where you don't have to share a room with 3 relatives and a dog. So there you have it, folks, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny copper coin that could turn your spare change into a millionaire's payday. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who found a weird penny in a drawer, now you know what to look for and why these little guys matter. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about history, mystery, and the thrill of the hunt. Plus, it gives you a great excuse to never throw away change again. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, learned something new, or just liked my story about the scratched up Abe Lincoln penny, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. We've got way more coin tips, stories, and hidden treasure guides coming your way. Leave a comment below if you've ever found an old penny with an S on it, or if you've got a coin you're curious about. I'd love to check it out in a future video. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters and pocket change prospectors, welcome back to the channel where we turn pennies into paydays and spare change into spare mansions. Now let me ask you something, have you ever dropped a penny on the ground and didn't even bother picking it up? You just looked at it like, nah, not worth the effort. Well, after watching this video you might start diving into storm drains for those lost Lincolns, because today we're talking about a 2017 D Lincoln penny that sold for a jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, absolutely bonkers $1.4 million. Yes, that's right, a penny worth more than most people's homes, a penny worth more than 4 Ferraris, a penny worth enough to retire on a beach somewhere and never look at a coin again, unless of course you're addicted like I am. So sit tight, grab your coin jar, and maybe dust off that old shoebox under your bed, because you might just be sitting on a fortune. Alright, let's get into it. The 2017 D Lincoln penny. So first off, what's the deal with it? Why is a coin that's supposed to be worth 1 cent suddenly selling for more than a private jet? Here's the thing, not every penny is created equal. Some of them have what collectors call errors or variations. These little quirks can make a coin super rare, and when something's rare, collectors go bananas for it. Now, the 2017 D penny that sold for $14 million wasn't just any old penny, it had a rare error that turned it into the Beyonce of the coin world. It was struck on a bronze planchet instead of the regular zinc-coated one. Yep, basically it was made out of the wrong metal, and guess what? That little factory oops turned it into a collector's dream. Only a handful of these babies exist, and when one showed up in pristine condition at auction, it sparked a bidding war, the likes of which even eBay would be jealous of. But wait, there's more. This wasn't some ancient historic coin, this was from 2017, just a few years ago. Some lucky person probably got it in their change after buying a Snickers bar or pumping gas. Imagine that you buy a coffee and accidentally walk away with $1 million coin in your hand. That's the kind of story you tell your grandkids when you're rich and eccentric with a coin vault the size of your garage. Now let me tell you a little story of my own. A few years back I was visiting my grandma and she told me to clean out this dusty old drawer in the hallway, you know, the kind where scissors, rubber bands, a few screws, and like 3 random pennies live. I almost tossed the whole thing into the trash, but something told me, hey, just check the coins. One of them ended up being a 1972 double die penny worth a couple $100. Not life-changing, but hey, it paid for dinner that night. Ever since then I've been checking my change like a hawk, and if I ever find a 2017 D penny, you best believe I'm flipping that thing like it's a winning lottery ticket. So how do you know if your 2017 D penny is the golden goose? First off, flip it over, look at the color. If it looks a bit off from your typical coppery zinc coin, it could be struck on bronze. Then grab a scale. A normal penny should weigh about 25 grams, but a bronze one will be closer to 31 grams. That might not sound like much, but in the coin world it's the difference between a penny and a Porsche. Also check for sharpness, crisp lettering, clean edges, and absolutely no signs of wear. A coin in mint state condition is worth way more than one that's been through the washing machine 3 times and chewed on by your dog. And if you think you've got something special, don't just go showing it off at the local diner. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if it's legit and slap it in a plastic case that makes it look like it belongs in a museum, which honestly it might not. Here's a tip, even if you don't find the $1 million version, some 2017 D pennies with lesser errors are still selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. That's not chump change, especially for something you found in your couch cushions. So whether you're a hardcore collector or just someone who likes to dream big every time they hear a coin drop, this is your friendly reminder that the next time you get change, don't just toss it in your car's cup holder. Take a good look. That little coin could be your golden ticket. We started with a simple penny, a 2017 D mint Mark Lincoln penny worth 1 cent, on paper worth 1.4 million. In reality, it's a reminder that treasures aren't always buried deep underground. Sometimes they're right in your pocket, mixed in with lint and old receipts. So next time you get change at the store, take a second to look at it closely. You never know when you might stumble across a coin that changes your life. If you enjoyed this video and want more fun and informative deep dives into coins that could be worth big bucks, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, share this with your coin curious friends, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn spare change into serious cash. I've got tons more stories, tips, and strategies coming your way, whether you're just getting started or already knee deep in wheat pennies and Jefferson nickels. Hey there, Coin hunters and casual change checkers, welcome back to the channel where pocket change turns into potential life change. Today I've got a wild one for you. We're talking about a plain old penny. That's right, a 1-cent coin, but not just any penny. We're diving into the mysterious magical money-making madness of the 2016 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's somehow worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right, 1 cent turning into a small fortune before you go running to dig through your couch cushions. Let me hit you with a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean, really looked at it, because if you've got a 2016 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. And by gold mine, I mean a copper-coated zinc circle of pure glory. Stick around, because we're breaking down what makes this ordinary-looking coin so extraordinary, why collectors are throwing big bucks at it, and how you can spot one yourself. Oh, and I'll tell you a little story about the time I almost spent one of these rare beauties on a vending machine snack. True story, still haunts me. Alright, let's get into the nitty gritty. What even is the 2016 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, and why on earth is it worth more than some cars? So first up, let's clarify something. All Lincoln pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so technically no mint mark isn't unusual for Philly. But here's where it gets spicy. Most 2016 no mint Mark pennies are worth exactly what you'd expect, 1 cent, maybe 2 if someone's feeling generous, but a few, a very small number, have some quirks, weird quirks, glorious quirks that make collectors foam at the mouth. We're talking about double die errors, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and the rarest of the rare, transitional planchet errors. What the heck is a transitional planchet error? Glad you asked. So the US Mint changes materials and designs from time to time, sometimes by mistake. A blank intended for a different year or coin type ends up being used for another coin. That's a transitional planchet. And when this happened with some 2016 pennies, suddenly they were struck on the wrong metal planchets and boom, value through the roof. Another major factor, error, quality and condition. These $1 million pennies aren't just any old scratched up coins, they're typically in mint state condition, think MS65 or higher, graded by big dogs like PCGS or NGC, and of course Rarity drives demand. There are only a handful of known examples of this kind of 2016 no mint Mark penny with that magical error combo. We're talking unicorn territory here, folks, the kind of coin you dream about, the kind of coin that makes you check every single penny you get back from a fast food cashier. Now, I promised you a personal story, and let me tell you, this one still stings. I was at a gas station one night craving a candy bar. You know, the kind of hunger that hits when you're not even hungry but your taste buds are like, hey, feed me sugar. So I grabbed a Snickers and went to pay in coins, because hey, support the economy with small change. Right, I handed over a few pennies and boom, one of them was a 2016 no mint Mark with a weird off-center strike. Didn't notice it at the time, I just wanted the chocolate goodness. A week later I was scrolling through a coin forum, saw a post about a rare 2016 penny being auctioned for over $1 million. Looked exactly like the one I tossed in the tray. I nearly screamed in the middle of the living room. My dog thought I was under attack. Now here's how you can not be me and maybe find one of these beauties yourself. Tip number 1, get familiar with what a normal 2016 Lincoln penny looks like. That way you can spot weirdness more easily. Tip 2, look for errors, especially doubling on the date or lettering. A coin that feels off and weight strikes that are misaligned or visibly off-center, odd coloration that might indicate a different metal planchet. Tip 3, get a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. Seriously, it makes spotting errors a whole lot easier, unless you've got superhuman vision, in which case why are you watching coin videos? Go save the world. Tip 4, coin roll hunting. Grab some penny rolls from the bank, go through them like a treasure hunter on a mission. Just be careful not to get addicted. It's fun until you realize you've got $500 in coins spread out across your kitchen table and your cat is trying to eat a wheat penny from 1942. And finally, if you think you found something rare, don't go selling it for $100 on eBay just yet. Get it professionally graded. A top-tier grade can mean the difference between a cool 100 and a cool million. So let's wrap this up, my fellow coin crusaders. The 2016 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny might look like a plain Jane, but with the right error and the right condition, it can be your ticket to $1.5 million. That's a house, a dream car, an early retirement, or at least a lot of Snickers bars. Check your change, dig through the couch, peek into old jars and drawers. You never know when the universe might toss a little copper-colored miracle your way. And hey, if you liked this video and want more tips on coins that are secretly worth a fortune, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, give that bell a little tap taparoo so you don't miss any future treasure hunts. We've got plenty more wild coin stories coming your way, from $1 million nickels to error quarters that could buy a vacation. Drop a comment if you've ever found a weird coin, or if you're gonna start hunting today. I love hearing your stories, and who knows, your find could be the next big thing we talk about. Alright folks, listen up, because this is not your average coin video, and trust me, you're gonna want to check your pocket change after this one, because that little brown penny you've been ignoring could actually be worth $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a penny worth more than most people's entire student loan debt. Now before you say hold on, I thought pennies were basically extinct and only good for making your wallet heavy, let me tell you this 2013 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny is a superstar hiding in plain sight, and today we're gonna dive deep into why this coin is making waves in the collector's world and why you need to go through your couch cushions right now, maybe even your laundry basket or that weird junk drawer in your kitchen that everyone has. So buckle up, grab a snack and maybe a magnifying glass because we're about to go on a wild ride into the world of hidden treasure disguised as spare change. So let's start with the basics, because I know you're asking, how in the world can a penny from 2013 be worth over $1 million when I can barely buy a stick of gum with one? Well, here's the kicker: this particular 2013 penny is missing something pretty important, the mint mark. Now, normally pennies are minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and they've got little letters like a D or an S to tell you where they came from, but some of these 2013 Lincoln pennies were released without any mint mark at all, and that's where the magic happens. Because collectors go bananas for error coins, especially rare ones. This no mint mark penny wasn't just a fluke, it was a major mistake, and mistakes in the coin world often mean major money. Alright, let's get nerdy for a sec, but in a cool way. This coin looks like your typical modern penny, copper coated zinc, good ol' Honest Abe on the front with that stoic look like he knows you didn't separate your recycling, and the Union Shield on the back. But here's the detail that gets collectors salivating: there's no mint mark under the date. Now, not all no mint mark pennies from 2013 are valuable. This is where things get spicy. The one that sold for $1.6 million was not only missing the mint mark, it was also in pristine uncirculated condition, like mint fresh. You could eat sushi off this coin and nobody would judge you. Okay, maybe they would, but you get the point. It was graded a perfect MS-70, which in coin grading terms is like having a car with 0 miles that also massages your back and makes you pancakes. So how did we get from 1 cent to 1.6 million? Well, part of it is supply and demand, and part of it is pure coin collector madness, which is a real thing, and I say that with love as someone who once spent 3 hours arguing about nickel varieties at a flea market. This particular coin went up for auction, and because it was such a clean example of a mint error, and because so few exist, collectors just went full on battle mode. The price kept climbing faster than my anxiety. When I lose Wi-Fi and eventually someone snagged it for a life-changing amount, that person probably walked away feeling like they just hit the jackpot at Vegas, but without having to dress up or talk to strangers. Now, let me tell you a little story, and I promise this is true. So a few years ago, I'm at my grandma's house and she gives me this old cookie tin full of coins and says, "Take what you want, these have just been sitting here for years, right?" So naturally, I'm like, sweet, free money, and start digging through it like a raccoon in a dumpster. I find a bunch of junk, some wheat pennies, a Canadian coin for some reason, and then I spot this one super shiny penny with no mint mark, and I'm thinking, jackpot, baby, I finally did it. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be the guy who buys a yacht with a penny. While I get it checked out, and turns out it was just a regular Philadelphia minted penny, because guess what? Philly doesn't always put mint marks on their coins. So yeah, I didn't retire that day, I just bought a coffee and moved on. But it taught me something important: you never know until you check, and checking costs nothing but time and maybe a little dignity if you're going through coin rolls in public like I do. Alright, now that I've got your attention and your hands are probably already halfway in your pocket, let's talk about how to spot a potentially valuable 2013 penny. First step, look at the date, check for that missing mint mark under 2013. Second step, check the condition. If it looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday, that's a good sign. Third step, if you think you've got something special, don't just go to your cousin Larry who once watched a History Channel episode on coins. Take it to a professional coin grader or local coin shop. They can help you find out if you're sitting on a fortune or just a really clean penny. Also, avoid cleaning the coin. I repeat, do not polish it. I know it's tempting, but that actually lowers the value. Collectors want coins in their natural state, kind of like organic vegetables, only more metallic. Now, while we're on the topic of valuable coins, let me just toss in a few honorable mentions you should be on the lookout for, because why stop at one? Keep an eye out for 1992 close AM pennies, 1983 double die reverse pennies, and basically anything with major errors like off-center strikes or coins that look like they melted halfway into a paperclip. Those are hot. Even nickels and quarters from certain years can be worth hundreds or thousands. It's like playing the lottery, but the tickets are in your loose change jar. So there you have it, folks, the story of the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny that sold for a whopping $1.6 million, and proof that sometimes even a lowly penny can turn into a dream come true. If you've learned anything today, it's this: never underestimate the power of pocket change. Next time you're handed a penny at the store, don't just toss it into the tip jar. Give it a look. You might be holding your first class ticket to financial freedom, or at least a really good story. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because I've got way more coin content coming your way. We're talking hidden treasures, coin flipping strategies, collector hacks, and stories that'll make you want to raid your grandma's cookie tin too. Give the video a like if you had fun, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird coin you thought might be worth something. Who knows, maybe your story will be the next $1 million headline. And remember, folks, keep your coins close, your magnifying glass closer, and never judge a penny by its copper coat, because it might just be your golden ticket. Hey there, coin hunters and curious minds, welcome back to the channel where your spare change could make you rich and your piggy bank might just be your retirement plan. Now picture this: you're standing in line at the gas station, you dig into your pocket, grab a few pennies to complete the change and toss them onto the counter like they're nothing special. But wait, among those pennies there's a 1968 D Lincoln penny, and guess what? That little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $17 million. Yep, you heard me right, a single penny worth more than a house, a luxury car, and probably your ex's pride combined. Stick around, because today we're diving deep into the mystery, the rarity, and the current market value of the 1968 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny that's flipping the coin world upside down. And trust me, you don't want to accidentally spend one of these at the vending machine. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1968 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D Mint mark right under the date on the front side of the coin. And of course it features our guy Abraham Lincoln looking all serious, like he just found out someone tried to use his $1 million penny to buy gum. Now here's the kicker: the 1968 D penny is usually just your average copper coin worth well a penny, but there are extremely rare variations that collectors are willing to shell out massive stacks of cash for. We're talking coins with minting errors, super crisp conditions, or wild anomalies that make them 1 in a million. Literally. So what makes this particular 1968 D penny worth $17 million? Well, it's all about a few things. First, the condition. This coin is graded at an insanely high level by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. That means no scratches, no coffee stains, no "it was in my jeans" during laundry damage. It's basically in museum condition. Second, some of these rare pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet, which means they were accidentally made using a blank meant for a different coin. So imagine a Lincoln penny but with the metal of a dime or a foreign coin. That's a minting mistake, and collectors eat that up like free samples at Costco. Third, there are double die errors. That's when the coin gets struck twice and the design looks a little bit doubled, especially on the date or the lettering. It's like a printing hiccup but on a coin, and trust me, collectors see that and go, "Whoa baby, we got ourselves a rare one." Let me tell you a quick story. So one time I was helping my grandpa clean out his old junk drawer, you know, the one with twist ties, half-used batteries, and 17 rubber bands. Well, in the mix there was this dusty old jar of pennies. Grandpa was about to toss it, but I stopped him because of course I'm the weirdo who gets excited over old coins. We poured them out, and sure enough, a 1968 D penny rolled right to the edge of the table. My heart did this little Olympic gymnast flip. I grabbed it, inspected it like I was Indiana Jones of numismatics, and while it wasn't the $1 million one, I still sold it for like $10, which hey is a lot better than 1 cent and a lecture on inflation. But ever since that moment I've been obsessed with checking every single 1968 D penny that crosses my path. I even check my friends' change when they're not looking. It's fine, they think I'm quirky. Now as for current market value, these ultra rare 1968 D pennies can go from a few $1,000s for error coins to the mega millions if it has the perfect storm of rarity, mint condition, and historical buzz. The highest known sale on record for one of these rare gems hit an eye-popping $17 million at a private auction. That's not just coin collector crazy, that's straight up national treasure level. And look, the odds of finding one are low but not impossible. There are still people out there who find rare coins in pocket change, thrift store jars, estate sales, even stuck between couch cushions. The key is knowing what to look for. And hey, if I had $1 for every time someone told me coins are boring, I'd be rich, but instead I might just get rich off an old penny. So who's laughing now, Uncle Joe? So what did we learn today, friends? 1. Never underestimate the power of a penny. 2. Always check your change before you spend it. And 3. If you find a 1968 D Lincoln penny, especially one in crazy good condition or with any odd features, put that sucker under a microscope, or better yet, get it professionally graded. It might just be your ticket to 7 figures and early retirement. And if you want more tips on spotting rare coins, understanding market values, and turning your spare change into serious money, hit that subscribe button right now, ring the bell so you never miss a coin that could be worth a fortune, and leave a comment if you've ever found a cool coin or have a story like mine. I'd love to hear it. Alright folks, until next time, happy hunting, stay curious, and remember, 1 penny can make a millionaire if it's the right penny. Hey there, coin collectors and curious folks alike. Imagine this: you're rummaging through a dusty jar of pennies. Maybe it's something you inherited from your grandma, or it's that pile of loose change you found in your couch cushions while searching for that lost TV remote. You know the one. Now, picture this: you pull out a penny from 2002, and you're thinking, just a regular penny. Nothing special here. But wait, what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a whopping $1.8 million? Yes, you heard me right, $1.8 million. Now before you rush to check your pocket change, let's break it down, because trust me, you don't want to miss this story about the 2002 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Alright, let's first talk about why this coin is such a big deal. I know, pennies are usually that forgotten currency that everyone ignores. Most people look at pennies as a nuisance, like when you're cleaning out your car, and you find pennies hiding in every crevice like little gremlins. But not all pennies are created equal, folks. Some have stories to tell, and some have values that'll make your jaw hit the floor. One of those pennies is the 2002 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, let me rewind a bit and tell you how I stumbled upon this nugget of knowledge. I remember one time, I was at a garage sale, yep, one of those random Saturday morning events where you find old knickknacks and furniture that smells like mothballs. But, lo and behold, a little old lady had a jar of coins for sale. I know it sounds like the beginning of a bad coin collector's joke, but hear me out. I picked up a couple of pennies that looked like they had seen better days, and for some reason, I just had a gut feeling to check the dates. Lo and behold, I found a 2002 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. I wasn't expecting much, but I decided to look it up, and that's when I realized I was holding something that could be worth a small fortune. Now, the 2002 D penny is one of those rare exceptions where the minting error makes it insanely valuable. There's something about the D Mint mark that makes it special. But, you might be wondering, isn't every penny from 2002 worth the same thing? Nope. Not all pennies from that year are worth millions. So let's dive into why this particular penny could make you a fortune. So, here's the scoop. The 2002 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is a rare error coin. You see, during the minting process, some pennies were struck with incorrect planchets or imperfect dies, resulting in coins with distinctive characteristics. The flaw in these 2002 D pennies makes them extremely sought after by collectors. The thing is, these coins didn't show up on the market in high numbers, which makes them even rarer and harder to find. The current market value for one of these pennies is hovering around $1.8 million. That's right, $1.8 million for a penny. And to think, most people just throw these things into jars, forgetting about their potential worth. Crazy, right? Now, you might be sitting there wondering, okay, how do I know if my 2002 D penny is worth $1 million? Well, the key is to check for specific signs of the minting error. The first thing you want to look for is the D Mint mark, the little d on the reverse side of the penny, which means it was minted in Denver. If you've got one of these bad boys, your chances of hitting the jackpot just went up. Next, check for the flaw or anomaly, a slight off-center strike or an error where the die wasn't aligned properly. A misprint on a coin like this can lead to a dramatic increase in value. So if your 2002 D penny has these characteristics, it's time to start doing a little happy dance, because you could be holding onto something that makes Scrooge McDuck's money bin look small. But here's the catch, just because you find a 2002 D penny doesn't automatically mean it's worth $1.8 million. Unfortunately, not all of them make it to the big leagues. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. If your penny is worn down, scratched, or has visible damage, it's not going to fetch the kind of money that a pristine specimen would. You want that shiny, almost perfect coin that collectors salivate over, and, of course, there's always the chance you could find one of these error pennies in a roll of change, at an estate sale, or even while you're out doing the most random things, like cleaning out your old dresser. So, before you toss any penny into the jar, make sure to inspect it carefully. And now, let me give you a little heads up about how to maximize the value of your 2002 D penny if you happen to find one of these rare beauties. First, you'll want to have it professionally graded by a certified coin grading service. This will let potential buyers know that your coin is the real deal and in tip-top condition. Coins that are graded by professionals tend to sell for far more than those that aren't. The right certification can add a lot of credibility to your sale and, ultimately, increase the value. And remember, folks, if you do happen to have one of these pennies, there's no rush to sell it. The value could increase over time, especially as these rare error coins become harder to find. So hang on to it, treat it like a treasure, and who knows? Maybe someday you'll find yourself cashing in on a small fortune. So, there you have it, the 2002 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, the unsung hero of the coin world, worth up to $1.8 million if you've got the right one. Who knew that a humble penny could lead to such riches, right? I mean, it's like finding a hidden treasure in your couch cushions, except this one could make you a millionaire. Before you rush off to dig through your coins, remember, not every 2002 D penny is going to be the next big thing. But, now that you know what to look for, you've got the upper hand. And hey, if you're as obsessed with rare coins as I am, make sure to subscribe for more tips and tricks on finding coins worth big bucks. Who knows? The next time you pull out some spare change, you might just find yourself holding onto a small fortune. Hey there, coin lovers! Welcome back to the channel, where we talk about coins, cash, and everything in between. Now, I know you might be sitting there thinking, what could possibly be so special about a 1985 penny? And that's what we're about to dive into today, because believe it or not, that humble little coin, that you probably have lying around in your junk drawer, is worth a whopping $1.10 million. Yes, you heard that right. A freaking penny worth over $1 million. Sounds like something out of a cartoon, right? But trust me, this isn't a joke. If you've ever wondered if your pocket change is worth more than just being pocket lint, grab a seat because we're about to break it all down. So, before you go digging through your couch cushions, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more wild stories of coins worth serious cash. Alright, let's rewind a little. If you're like me, when you think of a penny, you probably think of those tiny little copper discs that seem to multiply in your pocket for no good reason. Like, how many pennies does one person need, right? But if you have a 1985 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you could be holding on to more than just a penny. You might have a treasure in your hand. At first, let's talk about the mint mark. If you've ever looked closely at your pennies, and I mean really closely, you'll notice a tiny letter near the bottom. That letter tells you where the coin was made. For most modern coins, that little letter either says D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But a 1985 penny with no mint mark? That's the golden goose. Normally, the pennies without mint marks are rare, and this one is particularly special. Okay, so why does this 1985 penny actually sell for so much? A lot of it has to do with a minting error. See, the coin should have had a mint mark, but for some reason, a batch of these pennies was produced without one. It's a mistake that collectors absolutely love. Rare errors like these are a huge deal in the coin world. In fact, one of these 1985 no mint mark pennies sold for over $1.1 million at auction. Yes, million, with an M. Now, I can already hear you asking, how do I know if I have one of these rare pennies? Well, it's all about condition. If you have a worn-out penny from 1985, unfortunately, it's probably not going to bring in that kind of cash. But if you've got one that's in mint condition, meaning it looks like it was just rolled out of the factory, with clear details, no wear, and a shiny appearance, then you might be sitting on a potential gold mine. Here's a little story for you. A few years ago, I was at a local coin shop, and I was chatting with the owner about different rare coins. He mentioned that a regular customer of his brought in a coin they'd found in a jar of old pennies. The guy didn't think much of it, just thought it was another worn-out penny. But when the owner saw it, his eyes practically popped out of his head. It was a 1985 no mint mark penny in near perfect condition. That coin ended up selling for more than a vacation in the Bahamas, and all because of that minting error. Now, most of us won't get lucky enough to find a coin worth $1 million sitting in a jar, but here's the kicker: these types of rare coins don't always make it to the public eye. If you're willing to keep an eye out and check your change, you could very well stumble upon something valuable like that. No one ever notices these coins at first. I mean, I once found a 1999 penny that turned out to be a rare minting error, and I almost threw it in the trash. That's right. It went straight from my pocket to the trash can until I realized, hold on, this might be worth something. If you're thinking about hunting for one of these pennies yourself, keep in mind that most of these rare coins get found by pure accident. But don't let that stop you from keeping your eyes open when you're handling your spare change. Heck, even just flipping through a roll of pennies at the bank might yield a surprise. So, to wrap it up, the 1985 no mint mark penny is no ordinary coin. It's a rare gem that could make you a millionaire if you get lucky enough to find one. Whether you've got one tucked away in your collection or you're about to start flipping through your old pennies with a magnifying glass, remember, coins like these don't just grow on trees. And hey, I totally get it if you're feeling like a treasure hunter now, ready to go through every penny you've ever owned. If you're serious about building a collection of coins that could make you serious money, make sure to subscribe for more tips on rare coins and strategies for collecting. You'll get all the info you need on how to turn your pocket change into a potential fortune. Not if you found a crazy coin like this, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. Maybe I'll even share your story in the next video. And hey, if you're just here for the laughs, we've got plenty of that too. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep those coins safe. Who knows, you might be holding onto a $1 million penny right now. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash that like if you enjoyed this video, and turn on the notifications so you never miss out on more tips, tricks, and coin finds. Catch you in the next one, and remember, you might just be a penny away from a big payday. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Do you ever wonder if that old, dusty penny you found under the couch cushions could be worth a small fortune? Well, grab a seat and hold on tight, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of one specific penny, the 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny, right? What's so special about it? But let me tell you, this little guy could be worth a whopping $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.2 million. So buckle up, we're about to take a ride through history and some good old coin secrets, alright? So let's get into the good stuff. We all know the Lincoln penny. It's been around for over a century, and every time you flip a coin into a fountain or toss one into a jar of loose change, you probably don't think much of it. But the 1967 no-mint mark penny? Oh, it's got a story to tell. If not, here's a quick crash course. Mint marks are little letters on coins that tell us where they were made. You've got your D for Denver, your S for San Francisco, and your Philly coins which, fun fact, don't have a mint mark at all. That's where our 1967 penny comes in. Unlike most pennies from the era that came stamped with a mint mark, the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny doesn't have one. At first glance, it might seem like just another regular coin. But this penny is anything but ordinary, and now, here's the kicker. These 1967 pennies are super rare, and when a coin like that is in good condition, well, it's like finding a hidden gem. Collectors are absolutely nuts for coins like this. But why? Well, here's the thing. It's all about rarity, condition, and a bit of that sweet historical appeal. Imagine this, it's like finding an old band t-shirt that's been worn out and faded over time, but instead of it being a size medium from your 90s grunge phase, it's actually a vintage Nirvana shirt worn by Kurt Cobain himself. It's got history, it's rare, and the demand for it makes it worth a small fortune. That's pretty much what this penny represents in the world of coin collecting. Now, here's a fun fact. In 1967, there was a slight mix-up in the minting process, and the Philadelphia Mint produced pennies without a mint mark. The result? An error that has caused these coins to stand out like a sore thumb in a sea of normal pennies. Collectors, especially those who focus on rare and unusual finds, are always on the lookout for coins like this, and that's how the value of a 1967 no-mint mark penny has skyrocketed to over $1.20 million. Now, you might be thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these bad boys? Well, lucky for you, it's not rocket science, but it does require a little bit of detective work. Grab a magnifying glass, don't worry, you don't need a full Sherlock Holmes getup, just a simple one will do, and start inspecting that coin. If you've got a 1967 penny and there's no mint mark, well, congrats, you're on the right track. But don't jump for joy just yet. The real value comes from its condition. If that penny is in mint condition, untouched by the hands of time, then you're talking major money. A coin that's been well preserved, no scratches, no corrosion, no discoloration, that's the golden ticket right there. But don't get too upset if you find one with a little wear and tear. Even a well-loved 1967 no-mint mark penny can still fetch a pretty penny, pun absolutely intended. Okay, here's a little story for you. So, when I first started getting into coins, I was convinced that I had a rare coin collection just waiting to make me rich. I had a ton of pennies, all from different years. Some were shiny, some were dirty, and some were just downright ugly. But one day, I found an old penny, and I was like, this could be it. This could be my golden ticket. I ran to my computer, Googled the year, and found out it was just a regular 1980 penny. Talk about a letdown, but hey, that's part of the fun. You never know what you're going to find in your change jar or at the bottom of your couch cushions. It's like a little treasure hunt every day, and sometimes you strike gold, and sometimes you get, well, a regular old penny. But hey, if it's got that no-mint mark from 1967, we're talking big bucks. So, to wrap things up, the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable piece of history. With its potential worth of $1.2 million, it's definitely a coin that's worth keeping an eye out for. Remember, the key to unlocking the value of this penny is its rarity and condition. So, next time you're going through your pocket change or digging through a box of old coins, keep an eye out for this little treasure. It might just be hiding there, waiting for you to discover it. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we've got more tips, tricks, and stories about rare coins that could make you a fortune. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for tuning in, and happy hunting for those hidden gems. Until next time, keep checking those pennies, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky millionaire. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin tips, rare finds, and strategies on how to make your collection worth a whole lot more. And hey, if you've got a coin story of your own, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about your most epic finds. Keep on hunting, folks. Hey, fellow coin hunters. What if I told you that a simple penny from 2004, a coin that most of us have probably tossed around, might just be worth over $1 million? Yep, you heard me right, a 2004 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, and it could be sitting right in your pocket, waiting to make you a millionaire. I know, sounds like a wild dream, right? But stick with me, because this penny is worth more than just loose change. It's time to dive into the story of the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny, how it's worth $1.3 million, and why you should be checking your change more carefully. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button, because who knows? Maybe the next $1 million penny will be in your change after watching this. Let's get into it. Alright, let's break this down. The 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins that, at first glance, looks like just another regular penny. It's got that classic design, the one we all know and love: Abraham Lincoln's face, the Liberty inscription, and the familiar copper color. But here's the kicker: the 2004 no mint mark penny has an error that makes it super valuable. You might be wondering, what in the world could make a coin worth millions? Well, here's the thing. Back in 2004, most pennies were supposed to have a mint mark, the little letter that tells you which US mint produced the coin. Typically, the mint marks you'd see on pennies are D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But, and this is a big but, some of the pennies made in 2004 didn't have a mint mark at all. So how does this affect the value? Turns out, it makes these pennies incredibly rare. And when a coin is rare, people pay big money for it. The market for rare coins is all about scarcity, and because there's a limited number of these 2004 no mint mark pennies, their value shoots up. A typical 2004 penny without the mint mark can be worth around $1.3 million. Yes, million. It's crazy, I know, but it's the truth. This isn't some kind of coin myth or urban legend, it's real, and these pennies have been known to fetch mind-boggling prices at auction. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you happen to find one of these pennies, the first thing you'll want to do is verify it. There are a lot of people out there claiming to have these rare coins, but not all of them are the real deal. So, make sure you check the details. If it's a genuine 2004 penny with no mint mark, congratulations, you might just have $1 million coin on your hands. But if it's one of the many counterfeits floating around, well, better luck next time. Now, let me tell you about a little coin hunting experience of my own. A few years back, I was going through a pile of old pennies, just like I usually do, looking for something cool. I was half watching a TV show, not expecting to find anything exciting, until I picked up a 2004 penny. At first glance, it seemed like any other. But something caught my eye. It didn't have a mint mark. Now, I didn't get my hopes up right away, but I did a quick search online and, sure enough, it was one of those rare, no mint mark coins. I was freaking out. I'll be honest, I didn't think I'd find something like this just sitting in my pocket change. I immediately thought, this could be my ticket to a windfall. Unfortunately, after a trip to the coin dealer, I realized it wasn't the real thing, but I learned something valuable: always check your pennies. You just never know when you'll come across something that's worth a small fortune. That's why I'm telling you, don't underestimate the power of a simple penny. Whether you're going through your coin jar, digging through your change, or browsing a flea market, keep your eyes peeled. It could be your lucky day. So, to recap, the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rare find, and if you happen to come across one, it could be worth a whopping $1.3 million. But remember, it's all about checking your coins and making sure that penny is the real deal. The world of coin collecting can be full of surprises, and with a little attention, you might just strike it rich. If you learned something today or got excited about finding your next $1 million coin, hit that like button. And make sure to subscribe for more awesome tips and tricks about coins worth money. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on these opportunities. Your change might just change your life. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Start going through your pennies, and who knows, maybe the next rare find is just around the corner. Don't forget to subscribe, because I've got more coin tips coming your way soon. You'll want to be the first to know when another hidden treasure like this pops up. Catch you next time, coin lovers. Hey, coin lovers and accidental millionaires in the making. Ever had a penny and thought, meh, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that humble little coin might be your golden ticket, and by golden, I mean a cool $1.40 million. This isn't some conspiracy theory or late night infomercial. This is a real deal, pocket change turn jackpot situation. So if you've got an old jar of coins collecting dust or a penny stuck under your car seat, you might want to stick around. Because today, we're diving deep into the story, secrets, and selling power of the 1976 Lincoln penny, and if nothing else, I'll make you laugh while we go hunting for hidden treasure. Sound good? Alright, let's roll. Okay, picture this. It's the US bicentennial. Fireworks. Bell bottoms. Disco. America is celebrating 200 years of freedom, and in the middle of all that patriotism, a little copper coin gets stamped with a D in Denver. And now, you'd think with all that historical celebration, the penny might get a redesign, right? Nope. Lincoln's still chillin' on the front. But something weird happened. Not all 1976 D pennies were created equal. Well, a few were made with slight errors or had super high-grade condition that turned them into rare gems. And one of those gems sold for $1.40 million. Imagine flipping a penny onto the counter for a pack of gum, and the cashier casually pockets it like thanks. Sir, you just tipped them a small fortune. So, what's the deal? Why would anyone pay 7 figures for a coin that's technically worth 1 cent? Rarity. While millions of 1976 D pennies were minted, only a handful have survived in pristine, mint state condition. We're talking MS67 or higher. No scratches, no discoloration, no signs it's been to the laundromat in your jeans pocket. Errors. Some 1976 D pennies were struck off-center, had double dies, or were made using the wrong metal planchets. If your coin has a weird misprint or something looks a little off, congrats, it could be special. The collector market. Coin collectors, or numismatists, if you want to sound fancy at dinner parties, love finding these kinds of unicorns. And when wealthy collectors want a piece, prices go sky high. Condition, errors, and collector demand turned this bicentennial era coin into a millionaire's dream. Back in 2010, I had this jar full of pennies, maybe 300 of them. I was broke, just out of college, and living off instant noodles. One night, I took that jar to a coin machine at the grocery store. Dumped it in. Got like $12. Flash forward to today. I'm researching valuable coins, and boom, 1976 D penny worth $1.4 million. I remember I had tons of those. I even remember thinking, man, this one looks brand new. Probably the one. Gone. Swapped for spaghetti sauce and a 2-liter soda. So yeah. Learn from my heartbreak. Check your coins before you dump them in a machine that takes a chunk of your change and possibly your fortune, alright? You're probably staring at a pile of pennies now, right? So how do you know if you're holding on to one of these $1 million miracles? Look for the D mint mark just below the date. That tells you it came from the Denver Mint. If it looks like it just came off the press, you're on the right track. Look for sharp details, no scratches, no discoloration. Now, here's where it gets fun. Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's camera. Look for errors, doubling in the letters or numbers, off-center strikes, or funky metal coloring. If you've got something that looks unique, take it to a coin dealer or a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate it and give you an official grade. If it comes back high, you might want to sit down before checking the price estimates. These folks aren't just spending on coins for fun, they're investing. Rare coins are tangible assets, and like fine art or vintage cars, they appreciate in value over time. It's like playing the stock market, but shinier. Plus, let's be honest, there's bragging rights involved. Imagine telling your friends at a barbecue, oh yeah, I own the most valuable 1976 penny on earth. Everyone else is flexing their cars and vacations, and you're flexing copper. Never underestimate a penny. Especially one from 1976 with a tiny D on it, whether it's hiding in your junk drawer, under the couch, or in that weird cup holder in your car that always smells like French fries, you just might have a fortune waiting to be found. Take your time. Get a magnifying glass. Make it a fun weekend hunt with the fam. Who knows? You might find more than loose change, you might find life-changing money, and if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt and want more tips on coins worth money, funny stories, and strategies to turn your pocket change into big bucks, hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Share it with your grandma. She probably has the good stuff in her coffee can. Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into a potential fortune. Alright, picture this: you're digging through an old change jar from the back of your grandma's dusty closet. You expect to find the usual, maybe a few quarters, a rogue Canadian coin, and tons of lint, but bam, there it is, a regular looking 1978 penny, no mint mark, nothing fancy. Or is it? Hold on to that thought, because today we're diving deep into a coin that looks like every other one you've probably tossed in a tip jar, but can actually be worth up to $1.5 million. That's right, this tiny piece of copper might just be your golden ticket. And no, you're not dreaming, you haven't slipped into some strange penny-based version of the Matrix. Let's break it all down. Grab a snack, kick back, and prepare to have your mind blown by the humble 1978 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, before you go sprinting to the nearest couch cushion, let's get into why this particular penny could be worth a small fortune. So first things first, when we say no mint mark, we mean this penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time didn't stamp a mint mark on coins. That's normal, but here's where it gets spicy. Not all 1978 no mint mark pennies are created equal. Some of them have what collectors call die varieties or errors. Maybe the strike was off-center, maybe there was a double die, or maybe the coin was made with the wrong metal planchet. Think of it like a coin going rogue, like when you try to make pancakes and accidentally use salt instead of sugar. It's still a pancake technically, but it hits different. These types of errors and unique characteristics are what send collectors into a frenzy. Combine rarity with high demand and bam, you've got yourself $1 million penny. Now I know what you're thinking, but it's just a penny. I've probably thrown hundreds of those away. Well friend, so did I. True story, I once spent a penny just like this at a gas station buying a piece of gum. I was in a rush and didn't think twice. Fast forward a few months and I see a listing online, a 1978 no mint mark penny sold for over $1 million. My stomach did a somersault. I actually went back to that gas station and asked the cashier if they had the coin. They looked at me like I just asked if they sell dinosaur eggs. So yeah, let that be a lesson. Always check your change, even if it smells like pocket lint and broken dreams. Alright, now let's talk condition. Grading is everything in the coin world. A 1978 penny in rough shape might get you a few bucks, maybe a free soda if the cashier's feeling generous, but a penny in mint state condition, particularly MS67 or higher with unique errors, that's where you hit the jackpot. So how do you know if your penny's worth the big bucks? You need to get it graded professionally by companies like PCGS or NGC. They're the coin world's version of Jedi Masters. They'll tell you exactly what you've got and how valuable it is, and let me tell you, collectors love this year. They're always on the lookout for 1978s with no mint mark, and especially those with rare features like a deep strike, full details, or funky errors. One penny like that recently went for $1.5 million at auction. Imagine explaining that to your friends. Oh, you just sold a penny for more than their entire car. Another tip: if your 1978 penny looks unusually shiny or has a different color than other copper coins, you might be holding a transitional error or off metal strike. Those are the unicorns of the coin world, and people pay serious cash for unicorns. Just ask anyone who's ever walked into a toy store. So here's the deal, my friends: that little copper coin you've been ignoring since disco was in style could be your ticket to financial freedom, or at least to a really solid pizza party. Either way, it's time to check your piggy banks, your sock drawers, that weird junk bowl in your kitchen, and yes, even your couch cushions. Take a second look at every penny, especially those from 1978 with no mint mark, and who knows, maybe you're sitting on $1 million mistake that the mint didn't mean to make. If you had fun today, learned something new, or just enjoyed my story of ultimate coin regret, hit that subscribe button like you're hitting the jackpot. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on more hidden coin treasures. We've got more tips coming your way to help you turn pocket change into potential profit. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change could be hiding a fortune and your piggy bank might just have better retirement savings than you do. Now let me ask you something: have you ever found a penny and thought, may just 1 cent, not even worth bending over for? Right, well, after today you might start diving headfirst into the couch cushions like a treasure hunter, because one little copper coin could be worth $1.6 million. Yes, million with an M. Today we're diving into one of the craziest underdog stories in coin history, the 1970 D mint mark Lincoln penny. This little guy looks just like any other penny, but it's secretly a rock star of the coin world, hiding its true value behind that unassuming copper face. So buckle up, grab your magnifying glass, and get ready to rethink every penny you've ever tossed in the tip jar. Alright, let's set the stage. It's 1970. Gas is cheap, bell bottoms are somehow considered high fashion, and the Denver Mint is cranking out Lincoln Pennies like it's going out of style somewhere, and that mix a very special batch of 1970D pennies is born. Now here's the kicker: most 1970D pennies are worth well a penny, maybe a few bucks if they're in top-notch condition, but there's one legendary version that has turned the heads of collectors worldwide. This bad boy sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Let that sink in. That's more than most people's mortgages, more than your dream car, and probably more than your ex said you'd ever be worth. So what makes this coin so valuable? Is it made of chocolate gold filled with secrets from the Illuminati? Nope, it all comes down to a couple of key things. First, the condition. We're talking pristine, like never been touched by human hands kinda pristine. It's called a red MS67 plus grade. That's coin collector lingo for almost perfect, like the George Clooney of pennies. Second, the errors. Oh yeah, this is where things get juicy. Some of these rare 1970D pennies were struck using a proof reverse die from 1968, which means they have sharper, more detailed features that shouldn't even be on a Denver minted coin. Think of it like getting a Big Mac with a lobster tail inside. It's rare, weird, and valuable. And here's the kicker: a collector spotted one of these oddball pennies in a roll of coins from the bank. That's right, not from a museum, not from a private auction, from the same bank where you cash your birthday checks and argue with the teller about overdraft fees. Let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago, I got really into coin hunting after I saw a story online about $1 million penny, so I went full on Indiana Jones mode, dug through change from every gas station, grocery store, and vending machine within a 10-mile radius. My family thought I'd finally snapped. I was carrying a magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes, inspecting every cent I could find, and wouldn't you know it, one day while rolling up some spare change for a coin counting machine, I spotted a 1970D penny that looked oddly sharp. I'm talking crisp edges and details that looked too perfect. I nearly screamed. In the middle of my kitchen, I sent it in to be graded. Long story short, it wasn't the one worth millions, but it was worth a couple $100. And let me tell you, that adrenaline rush was better than caffeine. Start with a 1970D Lincoln penny, flip it over and check the reverse if the lettering looks super sharp, especially around the word Liberty, or if it seems different from your other 1970D coins. You might be onto something. Also check for doubling on the front of the coin and the date and inscriptions. That's another red flag in a good way. And don't forget, condition matters. You want that copper shine, baby. No scratches, no fingerprints, no signs it's been in your sock drawer for 10 years. If you think you've got a winner, don't try to clean it. I repeat, do not clean it. Coin collectors are pickier than a toddler at a salad bar. Cleaning a coin can drop its value faster than crypto. After a tweet, instead send it off to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll let you know if you've hit the jackpot or just have a shiny conversation piece. Either way, you'll learn something, and hey, you're already smarter than 99% of people who walk right past their $1 million penny without a second thought. So next time you get change back from your coffee run, take a second glance. That little copper coin might be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a really solid weekend getaway. The 1970D Lincoln penny is a perfect reminder that sometimes the most ordinary things hold the biggest surprises. All it takes is a curious eye, a little knowledge, and maybe a smidge of luck. And if you're into this kind of treasure hunting, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like so hard it doubles like a 1970 penny error. We've got tons of tips coming your way to help you turn your spare change into serious change. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're checking your couch cushions right now. I want to hear your stories. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just make you rich. I'm serious. Today we've got a story that's going to make you dump every coin jar in your house and flip every couch cushion looking for treasure. And no, I'm not talking about grandma's old candy stash. I'm talking about a penny that's worth more than some houses. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny from the year 2002 with no mint mark is valued at a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, that's right, 7 figures for something you probably left in your jeans pocket and ran through the wash. Now, before you go full pirate and start digging through your couch, let's take a closer look at this little copper superstar and what makes it so special. And hey, stick around, because I'm going to share a hilarious personal story about how I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. Yeah, it happened, and it still haunts me to this day. Well, most coins minted in the United States have a tiny letter on them that tells you where they were made, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But sometimes, for a variety of reasons, a coin leaves the mint without a mark, and when that happens, collectors lose their minds, because it usually means there was a mistake or an error. And in the coin collecting world, errors equal $, big $. Now, the 2002 penny we're talking about is a no mint mark Lincoln penny, which means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, but they forgot to stamp it with a P. This in itself isn't always rare, but what makes this particular coin special is that it has some unique characteristics. We're talking about a perfect strike, deep luster, immaculate detail, and what experts call a die variety, possibly a double die or misaligned die scenario, the kind of thing that makes collectors start sweating from excitement. To put it into perspective, most 2002 pennies are worth well a penny, but this one coin, which was graded MS70, which stands for Mint State 70, Basically the holy grail of coin condition sold at auction for $1.7 million. Let me say that again, $1.7 million for a coin you might have used to buy gum back in the day. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool story, but what does this have to do with me? Well, let me tell you about my little tragedy. So a couple of years ago I'm helping my uncle move out of his house and he has this giant tin can full of old coins. Like something straight out of a pirate movie. I'm digging through it looking for quarters because laundry day and I see the shiny penny from the early 2000s. I flip it over and notice there's no mint mark. I joke and say, hey, maybe this is worth $1 million and toss it back in the can. Fast forward to last year, I'm reading about this exact coin and my jaw hits the floor. I'm sweating. I call my uncle to ask if he still has the coin can, and you know what he tells me? He used the whole thing to buy coffee. Over the course of a month somewhere out there, my $1 million penny is buying somebody an espresso, and I'm just here crying into my coin sleeves. First, check the condition. If it's scratched, bent, or corroded, probably not worth much, but if it looks flawless, you're onto something. Next, check for doubling, especially around the date or the lettering. If you see it, grab a magnifying glass because that might be a double die, and if it's a clean strike with great detail and a mirror-like surface, you might just be looking at a rare coin. Also, no mint mark. Remember, that's key. If there's a D or an S, sorry, it's not the $1 million baby we're hunting. Now let's talk about where to find these things. Obviously start with your pocket change, but also check bank rolls. You can ask your bank for rolls of pennies and just go to town. I know people who've made it a weekend hobby, and guess what? Sometimes they strike gold or copper. In this case, you can also check yard sales, flea markets, estate sales. You'd be surprised how many people sell off jars of coins without knowing what's in them. It's like buying a treasure chest without the map. And of course, if you think you found something special, get it graded by a professional company like PCGS or NGC. That's how you turn a maybe into $1 million. Let's take a quick detour into the auction world because this is where the magic really happens. One of the reasons this penny sold for so much is because there were multiple collectors competing for it at a high-end auction. Now these people are serious. They've got money to spend and they want the rarest of the rare. So when a top grade 2002 no mint mark penny hit the market, it became a bidding war, and bam, $1.7 million later somebody walked away with a copper king. And the best part is that you don't have to be rich to get into this hobby. You just need curiosity and a little patience and maybe a magnifying glass. Also, it helps if you don't accidentally give away your valuable coins like I did. Still hurts, I'm not gonna lie. Let's not forget about coin forums, online marketplaces, and coin shows. These are all places where people are sharing info, swapping coins, and sometimes trading or selling valuable pieces. You'd be amazed how helpful the community can be, and it's a fun way to learn. You know, coin collecting gets a bad rap sometimes, like it's just for old dudes with monocles and suspenders, but let me tell you, it's for everyone. And with stories like the 2002 no mint mark penny making headlines, people are starting to realize that this hobby can seriously pay off. So if you're just getting started, here's a quick starter checklist. 1. Grab a magnifier. 2. Learn about mint marks. 3. Check your change daily. 4. Look for errors or oddities. 5. Don't throw away coins without checking them first. 6. Connect with other collectors, they'll teach you a ton. And 7. Be patient and keep looking because sometimes the most valuable coins show up when you least expect it. Alright friends, we've covered a lot today, from what a no mint mark penny is to how a simple 2002 Lincoln penny became worth $1.7 million. We talked about what to look for, where to find them, and even how I made a bonehead mistake and might have missed out on a fortune. So what's the moral of the story? Never ignore your pennies, they might just change your life. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or at least made you laugh at my pain, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos coming on rare coins, how to spot them, and how you can turn your change into real money, and you don't want to miss it. Smash that like button too because it really helps the channel, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're just getting started. I'd love to hear your stories and help you on your treasure hunt. Hey there coin lovers, treasure hunters, and casual couch collectors, welcome back to the channel where spare change just might change your life. Now imagine this, you're digging through your old piggy bank, maybe looking for quarters to do laundry, or hit up the vending machine and you pull out a regular looking penny. You squint at it, see Abraham Lincoln staring off into the distance and think, just another boring oil cent. But wait, not so fast, because what if I told you that one little penny in your hand with no mint mark from 1975 might be worth a jaw-dropping, wallet-busting, mind-blowing $1.8 million? That's right, a single cent could be your ticket to a millionaire lifestyle. So stick around because today we're diving deep into the legendary 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny, how it came to be, why it's so insanely valuable, what to look for, and how you can find one. Plus I'll share a funny little story from my own penny hunting days that involves a coin, a confused gas station clerk, and a very awkward encounter. Alright, grab your coffee, your magnifying glass, maybe even your lucky socks, because we're going coin crazy right now. The 1975 Lincoln penny was part of the standard issue coins produced by the US Mint that year, and for most people this coin is just another 1-cent piece. But there's a twist, and like all great stories, it starts with a little mystery. Most coins minted in 1975 came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Now Philadelphia coins typically have no Mint mark, and that's totally normal, nothing exciting there, right? Well, not exactly. See, while it's true that Philadelphia didn't put mint marks on pennies back then, the 1975 no mint mark coin that's valued at 1.8 million isn't just your average Philly penny. This baby has some quirks, some oddities, and some secrets that make it worth more than a house in most cities. We're talking about errors, misstrikes, and those ultra rare, one in a bazillion flukes that sneak past the quality control folks at the mint while they're sipping coffee and chatting about last night's football game. Now here's what sets the 1975 no mint mark penny apart. First, it's made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, same as other pennies from that era, but what makes it valuable is a combination of things. It has to be in mint state condition, preferably graded MS67 or higher, which basically means it's so shiny and perfect it could blind you if you stare at it too long. Second, some of the most valuable versions have doubling on the date or the lettering, especially the word Liberty or In God We Trust, and that's what coin geeks like us call a double die variety. It's like a printing error but on metal, which is way cooler than a typo in a textbook. Third, there are rumors and sightings of a proof version of the 1975 no mint mark penny that was never supposed to exist. Now if you get your hands on that, it's like finding a unicorn wearing a top hat and drinking tea with Bigfoot, and yes, that version is the one that's been valued at a staggering $1.8 million in auctions and private sales. Crazy, right? Now let me pause and share a quick personal story because this one still cracks me up. So picture this: I'm at a gas station one evening just grabbing some snacks and I pay with cash. Yeah, I know, old school, and I get a few coins back, including a super shiny penny. I'm like, huh, this looks weirdly pristine. I squint at the date and it's 1975 no mint mark. My heart skips a beat, my brain screaming jackpot. I'm trying to stay cool, but I'm probably sweating like a turkey at Thanksgiving. I ask the clerk if I can trade him a quarter for a few more pennies from his register. The guy looks at me like I'm either extremely generous or totally insane, which, to be fair, I might be a little of both. Long story short, that penny ended up being totally ordinary, but for about 10 minutes I was mentally shopping for yachts and planning how to tell my boss I quit and was gonna live off pennies for the rest of my life. But that's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when that next little round piece of copper will change your life forever. Step 1: check your change every day. Sounds simple, but seriously, people overlook the coins they get back from stores, gas stations, vending machines, you name it. Most people just toss pennies in a drawer or a jar without a second glance, but that's where the treasure hides. Step 2: hit up estate sales, flea markets, and coin shows. You'd be amazed at what people sell off without knowing what they have. I once found a 1943 steel penny at a garage sale mixed in with Canadian coins. Go figure. Step 3: invest in a good magnifying glass and learn how to spot those tiny details like doubling clean edges and full steps on the Lincoln Memorial that can bump your penny from pocket change to Porsche money. Step 4: consider getting any suspicious or super clean coins graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Yeah, it costs a few bucks, but trust me, it's worth it if you think you've struck copper gold. Right now in 2025, the top graded 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny is sitting pretty at a market value of $1.8 million due to its condition, rarity, and demand from high-end collectors. It's not just a fluke, it's a hot ticket item, and demand hasn't slowed down. In fact, some collectors are quietly bidding against each other in private sales, driving up prices even higher. Think of it like a Pokemon card, but for grown-ups who enjoy history, metal, and bragging rights. And don't worry if you don't find the $1 million version. Some 1975 no mint mark pennies in really good condition can still fetch anywhere from $50 to a few $1,000 depending on their grade, which, let's be honest, is still a heck of a return on a single penny. So here's the deal: the 1975 no mint mark Lincoln penny might look plain at first glance, but it's a treasure in disguise, a millionaire hiding in plain sight. And all it takes is a sharp eye, a little knowledge, and maybe a lucky hand at the coin jar. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who likes the idea of hitting it big without leaving your house, coin collecting is one of the most fun, surprisingly rewarding hobbies out there. Remember, coins are like little time machines, and sometimes they carry more value than we ever imagined. Now, before you go, grab your change jar and dive, and take a second to hit that subscribe button right below this video. We've got more tips, tricks, and treasure hunts coming your way, and you don't want to miss them. Turn on those notifications so you'll be the first to know when we drop more juicy coin content. And hey, if you ever find $1 million penny, be sure to send me a postcard from your private island. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one, and happy hunting.
Hey there, coin lovers and curious minds. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, meh, just 1 cent? Well, hold on to your pocket change, because what if I told you that one of those little copper coins, specifically a 2016 D Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.6 million for a penny. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions or digging through that jar of coins sitting on the kitchen counter since 2005, let me take you on a little journey through the wild world of valuable pennies. I promise, by the end of this video, you're going to be side-eyeing every coin in your pocket like it owes you rent. Let's start with the basics. The 2016 D Lincoln Penny. It's got Honest Abe sitting right there, like always, and that little D mint mark below the date tells us it was minted in Denver. Now, most of these pennies are as ordinary as toast without butter. But every now and then, something magical happens. A rare error, a unique strike, or even a special die variety makes one of these coins stand out, and collectors go absolutely bananas for them. So what makes this particular 2016 D penny worth $1.6 million? We're talking about a combination of minting errors, condition, and extreme rarity. In this case, the big star is a one-of-a-kind misstrike that happened during the minting process. Experts believe it was struck on a bronze planchet that was never supposed to be used after 1982. Yep, it's like finding a dinosaur bone in your backyard. Now let me tell you something personal. I've always been a casual coin guy. You know, nothing serious, just picking out shiny ones from my change and tossing them in a jar. But one day, I'm in line at the grocery store. I get my change back, and I spot a weird-looking penny. I mean, it just looked off. The color was a little darker, almost like it had seen some things. So I kept it. That night, curiosity got the best of me. I pulled out my magnifying glass. Yes, I have one, don't judge, and started examining it. Turned out, it wasn't anything special, but the rabbit hole it led me down was. I started learning about valuable coins, crazy errors, and stories of people literally cashing in on spare change. Ever since, I've been hooked, and that's how I stumbled upon the tale of the 2016 D Lincoln Penny worth $1.6 million. This isn't just a story. It's a wake-up call. Because if someone can find $1 million penny, so can you. You just have to know what to look for. Now, when it comes to value, this coin has made waves in auctions. One specimen, in near-perfect condition and verified by a third-party grading service, sold for $1.6 million. That's not monopoly money. That's life-changing money. That's pay off your house money. That's retire on a beach with a coconut in your hand money. The key thing that made it valuable was a rare composition error. Somehow, a bronze planchet from decades ago got mixed in at the Denver Mint in 2016. The odds of this happening are slimmer than me passing on free donuts. But it happened. And because of its unique traits, collectors went wild. Combine rarity with pristine condition and a little bit of minting mystery, and boom, you've got yourself a millionaire penny. Now don't go rushing out to pawn your penny jar just yet. Most 2016 D pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. But here's the kicker, you never know. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and wrong planchet errors can turn an ordinary coin into a jackpot. The trick is knowing what to look for and being just a little bit lucky. And if you really want to up your game, get yourself a loop, a coin book, and maybe join a collector's group. Heck, even watching videos like this one puts you ahead of the game. There's a whole treasure hunt going on in your pocket. And unlike the lottery, it doesn't cost a dime to play. So, the next time you get change back from the store, don't just shove it in your pocket and forget about it. Take a peek. Look at those pennies. That little copper coin might just be your golden ticket. Remember, someone out there found a 2016 D Lincoln penny and walked away with $1.6 million. It could be you next. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more tips, tricks, and strategies for spotting coins worth real money, hit that subscribe button and join our growing coin hunting community. We're talking nickels, dimes, quarters, and yes, more million-dollar pennies. And hey, leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're just now realizing your piggy bank might be worth more than you thought. Let's swap stories and maybe help each other strike it rich. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, man, you are basically useless? I mean, most of us leave them in our car cup holders, forget about them in our pants pockets, or toss them in a drawer somewhere next to expired coupons and rubber bands. But what if I told you that one of those little brown coins, specifically a 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping, heart-skipping $1.7 million? So before you go digging through your couch cushions or raiding the change jar, let me walk you through why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and of course, share a little story about the time I almost threw away a small fortune without even knowing it. Stick around. You don't want to miss this. And trust me, your future millionaire self will thank you. Now normally, a penny with no mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. The Philly Mint is like the workhorse of the US Mint. It pumps out coins like candy at Halloween. So, typically, a penny without a mint mark is no big deal. A small batch of these pennies left the mint with a serious error. We're talking about a rare die variety. And just to clarify, A die is the tool that stamps the design onto a blank coin. If there's an issue with that die, like a misalignment, double strike, or a flaw in the design, you get what's called an error coin. And error coins, especially the rare ones, can fetch big bucks on the collector market. In this case, that 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny had a very subtle but very rare design error. It's all about the lettering, the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, and a slight shift in alignment that's nearly invisible to the naked eye. But boy oh boy, coin collectors go nuts for this stuff. Only a handful of these pennies are known to exist. And because they're so rare, the price skyrocketed. One of them recently sold at auction for $1.7 million. Now imagine flipping a penny across a counter at a gas station, not knowing you just eat at a mini fortune into a candy tray. A few years ago, I was helping my buddy move. You know the drill: pizza, beer, carrying heavy furniture, and digging through drawers of random stuff that nobody's used since 2003. I find this dusty old jar packed with pennies. And I joked, "Hey man, I'll take this as payment." Couple weeks later, I'm sitting on the couch watching late-night reruns and just mindlessly sorting through the coins, mostly to keep my hands busy. All of a sudden, I spot this one penny from 2014. No mint mark. Looked a little off. So I grab my magnifying glass, because yes, I'm that guy, and start checking it out. Now I'm no grading expert, but I could tell it wasn't your everyday penny. The details were crisper. The strike looked a little off-center. Something was different. I ended up sending it off to be evaluated. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the $1 million version, but it was a recognized die variety worth a couple $100. And that moment, right there, taught me a valuable lesson. First, flip the coin and check for no mint mark under the year. That's your baseline. Next, look at the Lincoln portrait details. The rare ones have sharp detailing in the hair and coat, with a slight doubling in the "In God We Trust" motto. This is called a double die obverse. Also, keep an eye out for weird spacing or alignment shifts in the lettering, especially around Liberty. If you think you've got something special, don't clean it. Seriously, that'll ruin the value faster than spilling coffee on a baseball card. Just pop it in a little coin flip or envelope and send it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. One word: scarcity. There are probably fewer than 10 known examples in the world. Collectors go wild over ultra-rare modern coins, especially when they're errors that flew under the radar for years, and demand is rising. Coin collecting isn't just something your grandpa does in the basement anymore. It's a booming hobby, with investors and collectors constantly hunting for that next hidden gem. That's why this penny shot up in value, from pocket change to life-changing. Because that little copper coin rattling around in your cup holder might just be your ticket to a new house, a dream vacation, or heck, even early retirement. The 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that you don't need a suitcase full of gold to strike it rich. Sometimes, it's the smallest coins that carry the biggest. Surprise! Raid the penny jar. Search your drawers. Check under your car seats. You never know what you'll find. And hey, if nothing else, you'll finally clean out that loose change you've been ignoring for years. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more tips on finding rare coins, uncovering hidden gems, and turning your spare change into serious money. I drop videos every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit that like button if you learned something new, and leave a comment if you've ever found a coin worth more than face value. I'd love to hear your stories. Alright, folks, let me hit you with a question right out the gate. Have you ever accidentally dropped a penny and just walked away because, well, it's just a penny, right? What if I told you that one of those coppery little guys could be worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.8 million. For a penny. Not a typo. Not a drill. Today we're talking about the 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And if you've got one sitting in your junk drawer or stuck between your car seats, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. So grab your coin jars, your old wallets, and that weird drawer in the kitchen where everything gets lost. Because we're diving deep into why this penny is making headlines and collectors go absolutely bananas. And hey, I've got a personal story coming up about how I almost spent a valuable coin on a pack of gum. True story. But first, let's break down what makes this particular 1989 Lincoln penny so special. Let's start with the basics. In 1989, the United States Mint was cranking out pennies like popcorn. Most of them came from either the Philadelphia Mint or the Denver Mint, which you can tell by looking for a little P or D under the date. But every now and then, a penny rolls off the press without a mint mark. Now here's where things get spicy. The no mint mark 1989 penny isn't just any regular error. It's a super rare, highly sought after coin, and collectors are fighting over them like it's the last turkey leg at Thanksgiving dinner. First, it's all about rarity. Out of the billions of pennies minted that year, only a teeny tiny number are missing that mint mark. We're talking needles and haystacks here. It's like trying to find a parking spot at Costco on a Saturday, nearly impossible. But when you do, it's magic. We're not talking about the penny that's been chilling in your coin jar covered in who knows what. We're talking about pristine, untouched, straight from the vault kind of condition. Coin nerds call it MS68 red. That's mint state, baby. Shiny, clean, and the kind of penny that looks like it's never even thought about getting dirty. Now here's the kicker. One of these 1989 no mint mark beauties, in top-notch condition, sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million at auction. Let me say that again for the people in the back. 1. Penny. $1.8 million. That's more than a Ferrari. More than a fancy house. You could retire early, move to the beach, and sip coconut water all day long. Check your spare change. Look in your grandma's coin collection. Check old piggy banks, yard sale jars, and vending machine change returns. Seriously, I check every penny now like I'm Indiana Jones looking for treasure. Years ago, I was at a gas station. I had this little stash of old coins I carried around for good luck. One day, I was short a few cents at the register, and I just grabbed a handful of coins from my pocket and handed them over. One of them looked kind of different, kind of shiny. But I was in a hurry, and I figured, hey, it's just a penny. Fast forward a couple years. Guess what coin was worth over $1 million? Yep, a no mint mark Lincoln penny. To this day, I swear that pack of gum is the most expensive thing I've ever bought. The guy behind me in line might have ended up with it. Somewhere out there, someone might have turned my penny into a fortune. And me? I got spearmint. All right, coin crew, here's the takeaway. That 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny is no joke. It's rare. It's valuable. And it's out there. Might be hiding under your couch, at the bottom of a coin jar, or stuck in the back of a drawer you haven't opened since the Clinton administration. If you've got one in mint condition, you're looking at the kind of payday that most folks only dream about. But even if you don't, now you know what to look for. That's what it's all about: knowledge, hustle, and keeping an eye out for hidden treasures. And hey, if you found this video helpful, funny, or even just mildly interesting, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got loads more tips on coin collecting, spotting valuable coins, and how to turn pocket change into real money. Don't miss out. Every week we're hunting down the wildest coin stories, sharing strategies for building a collection, and helping regular folks like you turn a hobby into a goldmine. So keep your eyes sharp, your change organized, and your coins clean. You never know what you've got until you take a closer look. You ever found a penny lying around and thought, it's just a penny, no big deal? Well, hold on to your hats because that penny you almost tossed aside might be worth a whopping $2 million. Yep, you heard me right. We're talking about the elusive 1984 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and this little coin could be your ticket to a massive payday. No way, a penny can't be worth that much. But trust me, it's true. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one of these rare coins and how you might be sitting on a gold mine without even realizing it. Stick around, because I'm going to break it all down for you. And hey, I've got a funny story about my own penny mishap that'll make you feel better about any mistakes you might have made with your coin collection. Let's start with the basics. The 1984 penny. Sounds pretty ordinary, right? We've all seen them, probably in our couch cushions, under the car seats, or in a jar collecting dust. But what you might not know is that a few of these pennies, specifically the ones without a mint mark, are super rare and can fetch insane amounts of money. I'm talking $2 million, folks. And when I say super rare, I mean it. You see, most pennies from 1984 have a mint mark, which means they were minted at one of the U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But the 1984 no mint mark penny? That's the unicorn. Well, the mint mark is like a coin's fingerprint, indicating where it was made. In 1984, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing most of the pennies, but they accidentally left the mint mark off some of them. This was a huge mistake, but one that collectors would go crazy over. You see, there's this weird thing in the coin world. Mistakes can be worth way more than the perfect ones. That's right. When a coin has a unique flaw or is in some way different from the rest, it becomes a treasure to collectors. And because there were so few 1984 pennies made without the mint mark, they're now considered a rare find, with some selling for upwards of $2 million. So how can you tell if you've got one of these golden tickets hiding in your change jar? First, look for the obvious. It's a 1984 penny. Simple enough. Then, check the back of the coin for a mint mark. If there's no D for Denver or S for San Francisco, that's when the real fun starts. Congratulations, you've found yourself a potential gold mine. Now, keep in mind, not every 1984 no mint mark penny will be worth $2 million. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. We're talking about a coin in mint condition, with hardly any wear and tear, and ideally, it should be graded by a professional coin grading service. So if you've got a penny that's been hanging out in your pocket for the last 30 years, it might need a little TLC before it reaches its full value. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was sorting through some old coins I found in an old family tin. I was excited, thinking I had struck it rich with all these pennies. I was so sure I was about to hit the jackpot that I didn't even bother to check each coin thoroughly. I mean, who checks pennies, right? So, I tossed a handful into a coin-counting machine at my local bank, and guess what? A couple of rare coins slipped through the cracks. It wasn't until later when I started doing some research and realized I might have tossed a few rare ones into the machine. And let me tell you, when I figured out that I had potentially thrown away coins worth thousands of dollars, I almost cried. It was a classic case of me not doing my homework. That's why I'm telling you right now, always check your coins. You never know when you could have something worth a fortune. And that's why I'm sharing all this info with you, so you can avoid the same mistake I made. Let's say you found this rare coin, or maybe you're out hunting for one. What do you do next? Well, first, don't just go running to eBay to sell it. You need to get it professionally graded. There are a few grading services out there that can give you an accurate idea of what your penny is worth based on its condition. After it's been graded, you can either sell it at an auction, put it up for sale online, or even hold on to it as a long-term investment. Some collectors might even be willing to pay a premium just to add this unique coin to their collection. But let me tell you, the market for rare coins can fluctuate. One thing you should always keep in mind is that the value can go up or down, so make sure you're selling at the right time. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, okay, this sounds cool, but what about other pennies? Well, great question. There are other valuable pennies, like the 1955 double die or the 1909 SVB. But the 1984 no mint mark penny is special because of the way it was made, by accident. It's one of those happy accidents that turned into a rare and valuable find. So if you're serious about coin collecting, keep your eyes peeled for more than just this one penny. But for today, let's just focus on the one that could change your life. After all, $2 million isn't a bad payday for a coin you probably thought was worthless, right? I hope you're feeling a little more confident about digging through those old coin jars and maybe even spotting a $2 million treasure. Remember, it's all about knowledge and knowing what to look for. And hey, if you've got any crazy coin finds of your own, I'd love to hear about them. Drop a comment below and share your stories. I might even feature them in a future video. Before you go, if you want more tips on how to find coins worth big money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on what's coming next. I'll keep you updated on everything from rare pennies to silver dollars, and maybe even more coins that could turn your collection into a fortune. Let me ask you something. What's the craziest thing you've ever found in your pocket or your change jar? A quarter? A dollar bill? Maybe a rare coin? Well, today, I've got a real treat for you. Something you might not even realize is hiding in your collection right now. I'm talking about the 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, this little guy could be sitting quietly in your collection right now, and you might not even know it's worth a fortune. As in, $2.1 million worth. Sounds crazy, right? But I'll tell you, there's more to this penny than meets the eye. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into why this unassuming coin could make you a millionaire. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. All right, let's break this down. First things first, you might be wondering, what makes this 1986 penny so special? After all, pennies are pennies, right? Wrong. This particular penny doesn't have a mint mark. And if you've been collecting coins for a while, you know that's a big deal. Here's a bit of history for you. In 1986, most of the pennies produced by the U.S. Mint came with a mint mark indicating where they were made, whether it was in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But, and this is where it gets interesting, A small number of 1986 pennies were accidentally minted without any mint mark. These coins were supposed to have a P for Philadelphia, but somehow a small batch slipped through without it. These are the ones that collectors are going wild for. Now, before you go rushing to your coin jar, let me tell you, finding one of these bad boys is no easy feat, and even if you do find one, it's got to be in good condition. We're talking about coins that are in excellent shape, no scratches, no wear, no discoloration. The cleaner and sharper the details, the higher the value. And I know what you're thinking, but it's just a penny, it's got to be easy to spot. Well, that's where it gets tricky. You'll need to take a close look at the date, and sometimes even use a magnifying glass to check for that mint mark or lack of it. Now, here's where I can relate. A couple of years ago, I was digging through a box of old change my grandfather left me. Just like you, I didn't expect to find anything worth much. But one day, I came across a 1986 penny, and I almost tossed it in with the other random coins. Something told me to hold on to it for a second longer. I took a closer look, and sure enough, it was one of those no mint mark pennies. I couldn't believe it. Now, it wasn't in mint condition, but it still had some value. The excitement I felt that day was unreal. It was like finding hidden treasure, except instead of a chest of gold, it was a single penny. But trust me, that penny made me feel like I just won the lottery. The thing is, though, finding one of these rare pennies is just the start. The next step is knowing exactly what to do with it. Because when you find a coin that could be worth millions, you don't want to just throw it in a drawer and forget about it. You need to do your research. Find a reputable dealer, get the coin graded, and maybe even consider selling it if the price is right. Selling a coin like this might seem like a hard choice. But honestly, the way the market's been going, these pennies have been seeing more and more interest, and the value is only expected to increase over time. Some of these pennies have been selling for as much as $2.1 million. Can you imagine? One coin, one simple penny, making you a millionaire. It's like something straight out of a dream. This isn't just about luck. It's about knowing what you've got. A lot of people don't realize the potential value of their coins, and that's where the power of education comes in. The more you know about rare coins, the more likely you are to spot a hidden gem in your collection. And trust me, that knowledge is going to pay off. If you've got a 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, hold on to it. Get it checked out. It could be your ticket to something huge. And even if you don't have one of those pennies, don't lose hope. There are plenty of other rare coins out there just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable pennies in history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips and coin strategies to share, and trust me, you won't want to miss out on any of them. Who knows? The next coin you find could be your big break. So, until next time, keep hunting for those hidden treasures, and remember, a penny saved might just be a penny worth millions. You're at home, rummaging through that jar of change sitting in your kitchen drawer. You know, the one you've been meaning to sort through but never actually get around to. And then, suddenly, you pull out a coin you've never seen before. It's an Abraham Lincoln penny. But wait, there's something about it. You flip it over and, boom, it has the D mint mark. Now, I'm not saying it's definitely a gold mine, but what if I told you that particular coin could be worth over $2.2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. The 1996 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could potentially be worth a small fortune. So, buckle up, because today, we're diving into how this humble penny could be sitting on a small treasure chest. All right, first things first, let's get the basics out of the way. We all know pennies, right? They're the little copper coins that you end up tossing into the coin jar, or maybe just letting them collect dust at the bottom of your bag. But not all pennies are created equal. In fact, some of them could be worth way more than their face value, and the 1996 D mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare gems. Now, before we go on with how this penny can make you a millionaire, let's talk about why it's so special. The 1996 D penny, while it may look like just another coin at first glance, stands out due to a few very unique factors. For starters, it has some very rare and very desirable characteristics, like its minting process, potential errors, and the fact that not many of them are in circulation anymore. Let's break it down a bit. First, the D mint mark. This means the penny was minted in Denver. Normally, these pennies aren't rare, but when you throw in specific errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or other production mistakes, that's where the value skyrockets. And the 1996 D penny is one of those coins that could have those errors, which makes it way more valuable than a regular old penny. Now, let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a family reunion, And I remember my uncle pulling out this box of old coins he had. He was showing off some of the classic stuff, quarters, dimes, and all the usual suspects. But then he casually tossed out this one coin that made me do a double take, a 1996 penny. I was like, hold up, isn't that just a regular penny? He smiled and said, oh, it looks normal, but it's a collector's item. I didn't get it at the time. I mean, it was just a penny. But sure enough, as I learned more about the coin world, I realized he was talking about the kind of pennies that people don't notice because they look just like any other coin. That's the thing. You never know when you've got a real winner hidden in plain sight. Finding a 1996 penny in perfect condition with some of these rare errors can be worth serious money. And by serious, I mean up to $2.2 million in the right market. I'm not even joking. So what makes this coin so special in the eyes of collectors and investors? The key is rarity. A perfect 1996 penny, especially one with rare minting errors, is extremely hard to find, which makes it incredibly valuable. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I've got a 1996 penny. How do I know if it's worth $2.2 million? Well, there are a few things to look out for. One of the most important factors is the condition of the coin. The more well-preserved it is, the more valuable it becomes. A coin in mint condition can fetch top dollar at auctions or from collectors. Plus, those minting errors, like double die or misstrikes, can make a huge difference. A penny with a misaligned design or off-center strike is far rarer and, you guessed it, more valuable. Let's talk numbers here. A coin like this, in pristine condition, with the right errors, could easily hit that $2.2 million mark. It's no longer just pocket change, it's an investment. And to make matters even crazier, these kinds of rare coins have a tendency to pop up at the most unexpected times. Some collectors have stumbled upon them in their change or found them tucked away in a forgotten drawer. So, it's not all about having a ton of money to start with. It's about knowing what to look for and having a bit of luck on your side. And hey, even if you don't have one of these super rare coins right now, that doesn't mean it's too late to get started. The coin market is always evolving, and there's always a chance to snag a valuable piece if you know where to look. Whether it's at estate sales, coin shows, or even just going through your own spare change, you can still find coins that might be worth more than you think. I've heard of people scoring big just by digging through old coins at garage sales or secondhand shops. It's kind of like hunting for treasure, but way cheaper. The 1996 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. With the right condition, rare minting errors, and a bit of luck, it could fetch a jaw-dropping $2.2 million. If you've got one of these lying around in your collection or even just in your change jar, it's time to take a closer look. And if you don't, well, don't worry. There are plenty of other coins out there worth big money, and it's all about knowing what to look for and where to look. But before you go running off to dig through your drawers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can stay updated on more tips, tricks, and strategies to find coins worth money. I've got a lot more great content coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. So, stay on the lookout for those hidden treasures, and who knows, the next big find could be sitting in your pocket right now.